Our next question is, how would you suggest leaders should innovate their comms to show more empathy? You use one of the examples using like what does it look like talking on a podium, and then using Facebook in a more informal way, talking more of the like uh, common language that people can feel they associate with what they've been talking about. Apart from Facebook, is there any other innovative channels that you have seen people have used, and how might politicians do this?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I've been surprised by how little innovation I've seen from leaders in this. You know, they have got, and this phrase that keeps coming back, is they've got stuck behind their podiums. They're in podium mode, really. I've seen, I think Governor Cuomo did do a briefing with, I think it was the National Guard, where he did have a socially distanced audience in front of the National Guard, and at least that showed a little bit more connection. And he used this lovely line of, I've always said to you, I'll never ask you to go anywhere or do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And that showed a sort of a connection and an empathy, which I thought was quite good. But really, I've not seen a lot to compare with the Facebook live chat. And I think you've got to make it seem authentic, and you've got to find the medium that works for each leader. Personally, I might be terribly old hat and terribly old fashioned, but radio hasn't ceased to exist in the last 100 years, and I still think that that form of speaking to people in a monologue, 5 or 10 minutes, probably shorter than FDR's versions, is not necessarily a bad way to go. Because if you think about the where and how people listen to radio or listen to podcasts more likely now, a podcast version of it, I don't necessarily think that doing audio clips of using that more informal language, that more conversational kitchen counter type language is a good idea. I have seen other people using Facebook, but it's sort of a bit, it feels a little set up, a little bit too formal, and the questions have clearly been vetted beforehand, and it's just not really, it doesn't really have that same sort of impact. And Jacinda Ardern did answer questions on her Q&A, but actually the thing that made the difference was her little monologue at the start. And so I think it's just thinking about doing something like that that's authentic, finding it works for each leader. And if you can find an audience in a socially distant way, like Governor Cuomo did, then all to the better.
I guess it's really about really exploring different media channels and really understand how your audience get the message, what type of audience you reach by the different channels.
Yeah, really, that's right. People are not going to take away a message of empathy from a man stood behind a podium with 2 flags behind him. That sends out a very, very clear signal, that whole look, about what sort of leader that person wants to be, and it's effective in some ways, but it's not communicating in a holistic way that a leader really needs to in a time of crisis.